everyone, I'm Jocelyn, and I am grateful you're here. You're listening to the Starting with Gratitude podcast. This is a safe space intended to host meaningful conversations exploring all topics of the human experience. Every conversation starts with gratitude and remains rooted in gratitude. After you listen, make sure to join the community by subscribing and sharing. I am so happy you have joined us. Hey, Hef.
Hey, good morning. How you doing, Jocelyn?
Good morning. I'm doing...
There's a lot behind that sigh. Open up. Damn.
No, I've been trying to consciously not say good. You know, when someone asks, how are you? I'm trying to be more mindful with my responses of like, not saying like, I'm doing good, all the time, because I feel like there's more depth to how we're doing. So
Absolutely.
I currently feel like I'm doing, or I feel very fulfilled, I guess. I
That's great.
feel really peaceful right now. And I want to ask you how your spirit is doing right now.
Um, it's been a crazy year. I keep on thinking like a crazy week. Oh, actually, the month. I don't know. This whole fucking year is kind of crazy. Like, I don't know. It's been an interesting year. Not good. I'm sorry for trying to avoid that. It's been exciting, fulfilling. There's been peaks and valleys. There's ups and downs. There's trials and tribulations. But at the end of the day, I'm just thankful to still be here doing what I do and living the life I live. And I, look forward to the future.
Yeah, and I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited to get into all of that with you. And yeah, I feel the same like this year, last year, just life in general. But I generally have been feeling peaceful in the midst of all the highs and lows, just because I honestly have become so deeply rooted in gratitude that I find the reason to be grateful in everything.
Yeah.
And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and invite you to share with us what it is that you feel grateful for.
Jeez. I'm grateful that my beard connects. I just trimmed it. You can't really see it, I promise it connects. I just trimmed it. I'm thankful to be healthy in this crazy time. I'm thankful for my relationship with God, my family, my job, my friends. How I was raised. I don't know. Like, I'm just grateful to kind of have an opportunity to live life for this long. I have friends that didn't make it this far, family that didn't make it this far, like whatever it may be. It's just, I don't know. I'm big on purpose. I'm big on, a lot of stuff happens for a reason. And I feel like, if I'm here for this long, there must be more stuff for me to do. There must be more purpose for me to fill. And that's just kind of what my everyday is like. I'm saying, not just in my job, but in my personal life, with friends, with family, relationships, whatever it is. It's just like constantly trying to find my purpose. So anyways, it's just I'm really grateful to still be here trying to find and fulfill that purpose, honestly.
Yeah. That's really beautifully said. Thank you for sharing that.
Appreciate it.
What made how you feeling grateful for how you were raised? Like, why did that come to you? Like, why is how you were raised special to you?
My parents are so fucking weird. And like my dad, especially, he grew up in the Philippines and my mom grew up in Alabama. So pretty much polar opposites.
Yeah.
And from there, like just the mixing bowl of like what I had to grow up with, it's like I'm getting this like Southern upbringing, but then my dad grew up in the fucking Philippines and like lived in India. And so it's just like kind of the mixing bowl I got was like interesting. But at the end of the day, the number one thing that they taught me was compassion and just to be a compassionate person. And like, I know that that's really kind of resonated and carried with me throughout the years, just because like, I mean, I've seen people, and it's like, it's no knock at how they were raised, but it's just like, I don't know. It's just like sometimes I see people that like it's a stupid example. It's like my friend like snapping at a waiter in a restaurant. My mom would smack the taste out of my mouth if I snapped at a waiter at a restaurant. And it's like, bro, it's just like little shit like that, just like to how you handle situations maturely and like expressing your feelings and how like I don't know. It's just like my parents were very open and we were able to talk through stuff. We had arguments, but it's like we were very communicative. And at the end of the day, compassion was really just like the baseline underlying theme for like how you're supposed to live life. Be compassionate, be nice, be helpful, be a good person. There's not going to be good people. Still try to treat them with compassion and respect as hard as that could be. But at the end of the day, don't take no shit. And it's just like, I don't know, like it's all just kind of, I've realized my dad has these things called thought snacks and he texts them to me. And it's just like little blurbs that he thinks of. He's written a few poetry books and philosophy stuff.
Oh, wow.
And over the years, all the shit that he kind of said to me growing up, I was like, yeah, dad, whatever. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, okay, cool. You're high. Like, whatever. As I've gotten older, I've like been like, damn, he was onto something. Like, you know, so it's like, it's interesting just because like, as I've gotten older, those seeds that he planted years ago have really like blossomed and bloomed in my mind and in my soul. And it's just kind of like, I don't know, kind of, I guess, laid the groundwork for who I am now, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. What's one of your favorite seeds that he planted in you that like to this day as an adult and as you're like growing in your own journey that just like feels very profound and significant to you?
The road less traveled has more grip. That was an excerpt from one of his poetry books. And it's funny because I read that at a really interesting time in my life. It was before the current job I have now. I was working a job. I was really unhappy. I thought I was going to be stuck there. I just didn't know what to do really. And I'm, you know, being uncomfortable is scary. And so for me, having the comfortability of working where I was working and who I was working with, it was safe, even though it was unpleasant. And, you know, putting yourself out there is tough, especially in this industry. It's like, you might not get that job. It's like, oh, it's hard. It's kind of hard going around to other labels trying to get a job. You are to work, but you know, word travels fast. And so it's just like, you know, when I picked up the book, I literally randomly opened it. And that was the page I opened on. The road less traveled has more grip. And I just thought about that. And I was like, I don't have to do things that are comfortable, that are conventional. I don't have to take the safe path. And even like outside of like in like, you know, hyper focusing on like going from one job to another, it's like I went to college. I dropped out of college for a completely other career. I was going to be a sports journalist. I had a internship with Bleacher Report. I wasn't even thinking about music. And my whole family went to college. Like I have doctors and lawyers in my family and all this stuff. I'm the weed smoking college dropout. I'm the black sheep. Now things are a bit different now. And I'm one of the most successful people in my family. So it's like, you know, even like I was already kind of living that before I even knew I was living that. But then it kind of re-inspired me because it's like, I didn't give a fuck. I was so confident when I was dropping out of college because I knew what I was going to do. I knew I was going to fall flat on my face no matter what. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but I knew it was not going to be failing. I knew I wasn't going to fail. And so, I don't know, it was just kind of cool finding that. It's like I knew it, but I found it at the right time and it was put into words. And ever since then, it's just been, I'm going to get it tattooed on me sometime too, but it's just been stuck with me ever since then for sure.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you brought that up because you have it pinned as your like pinned tweet on Twitter. And I was going to bring that quote up to ask you about it. And I love that it's by your dad. That's so sweet. And why do you think that sprouted from him? Like, what do you think made him write that himself?
My dad has been anything but conventional his entire life. As I mentioned, he was born in Bombay and then he grew up in the Philippines. He came out for college at Pepperdine, got a student visa, dropped out of college, got deported, got married to a woman that stopped my mom to get back into the country, gets back into the country, meets my mom because she's babysitting his first child. And it's just like, nothing has been regular about my dad's life. So it's like, here he is. Like, he's happy as a fucking clam. Like, he is so, talk about at peace. Like, he's super at peace and just happy and in the moment. And he's always talking about my breath and just focus on your breath. And like, and he's always meditating and shit. And it's just like, I don't meditate. I know I probably should, but it's just like, he is going through all this crazy shit. He used to be in a gang in the Philippines, like all this crazy shit. And now he's just my little 5'0" dad. That's like just gardening and going to sit outside and just doing all this shit. You know, it's just like, I don't know. It's just that I haven't lived a life that crazy. And yet here he is still like, you know, happy with my mom and stuff and everything. And I just feel like, well, damn, like I haven't gone off the rails too much. Like I can push the boundaries a little bit, you know, so I can get uncomfortable. I can, you know, be a little unconventional. So it's definitely a left brain, right brain thing for my parents. So I definitely have pieces of both that come through in my personality and my, I guess just whole persona. But yeah, no, my dad has just been super unconventional his whole life. And he has done anything but taken the path that a lot of people have taken. So I don't know. My dad's one of my heroes for sure. He's a crazy little man.
I love that. I love that. Why would you say that the road less traveled has more grip though than one that is more commonly traveled?
I think in like a literal sense, obviously it's like, you know, it's just not as worn down. There's no like even walking path. And I think metaphorically it has more grip in the sense that it's, how do I want to say this? You're going about things in a way that you might not be comfortable with, that may not be acceptable, I guess. Like for me, in my personal situation, when I'm talking about, I want to move to LA, I want to work in the music industry. All my friends are like, bro, go to college, get a job, or like just get a job. Like, yo, you want to come work for me at the HVAC company and blah, blah. I said, fuck no, I don't want to work at the HVAC company, bro. What the fuck? Like, I want to go work at a label. I want to do this shit. This is what I'm passionate about. And so it's just like having everyone be like, no, go this way, don't do that. No, you're gonna fail if you do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's like, nah, I got this. Don't worry about it. You know, it's just like having to go there and like explore uncovered ground and just go for it and just try it. And it's like, what's the worst thing? I come back and I do what you guys are doing. Like, whatever. Like, I can live with that.
Yeah.
And thankfully I'm not, you know, shout out to my friends, but it's just, I wouldn't want to have any of their jobs over my job. So.
Yeah. And it does seem like you are really, really passionate about what you do.
I love what I do. I still can't believe I do what I do, honestly.
Yeah.
It's cool, man. You know, I don't know, when I dropped out to be a sports journalist, I never would have thought I'd end up working at a label, but sports journalism sucks and it's way too competitive. I mean, the music industry is competitive, but I could deal with this kind of competition.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but yeah, no, I mean, it's, I don't know. It's been a wild ride so far. Still can't believe I'm here, but I'm really just happy to be here. Honestly, at the end of the day, just happy to be here.
Yeah. How did that pivot happen from sports journalism to where you are now?
Jeez. I was writing for Bleacher Report. I was an intern. I did a few internships with them. And during that time, I just really liked writing. I was always a writer. Like, I got terrible grades in high school, but I got all A's in English and literature and all that shit because I just could write. I could just write. And even if it was bullshit, it sounded good. Like, I remember specifically one night I came home late as shit on a Sunday from a family party and had a paper due the next day. It was like 5 pages on a book I had not read. And I bullshitted the whole thing and I got the highest grade in my class. And I was like, you know, I can kind of write a little bit. Okay, I guess. Like, and so like from there, whatever it was, maybe it was just my teacher didn't give a fuck, but that just kind of gave me the confidence to like, okay, I'm going to write. So I'm doing the sports journalism. I was really into music. And I remember just going on Dat Piff and just looking up new mixtapes and shit like that. And like, this is when like, probably like freshman year in college, when like Schoolboy Q was starting to come out and Kendrick and A$AP Rocky. And it was just a really exciting time for underground music. And it was like in the blog era.
Yeah.
And I wasn't on the blogs yet. I was on like the mixtape sites, like Live Mixtapes and Dat Piff, but like it was exciting to me. And like finding new music. I remember the first artist I found that like was good enough to show my friends, and my friends liked it. And that feeling was just like, oh my gosh, like music is such an intimate thing. And when you can show someone something that they like and something they want to listen to every day, and like, it's a great feeling. And so at that point I started writing about music. And then from there I got involved with managing artists. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah.
But I was just managing local artists. I threw some shows. I was just writing for more and more blogs. And then from there, I was writing at this website called Good Music All Day. And I was the hip hop editor over there. And at that point, Matt McFarlane and Jeff Vaughn from APG had reached out to me because they were like, hey, like, we manage this artist. We want you to support him on the side if you like the music, but also like, you have pretty good taste, like send us artists. So I would send them artists and stuff, and like we build a relationship. And then they're like, hey, if you're ever in LA, come interview with us or come say what's up. Like, we'd love to have you interview as an intern. And I was like, I'm not going to come to LA, get the internship. I'm going to get the fucking internship. I was like, I'm not going to come to LA, get the internship, then have to save up again to come out there. I was like, I'm just moving there.
Yeah.
So I just packed up my shit. I saved money for a few months. I was making furniture with my dad out of recycled materials, and we were selling that. And I was selling weed too. And then I saved up, and I just moved out here. And it was really shitty at first. It was really shitty at first. I mean, I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment in South Central with 7 people. And I was going into my internship every day for like 8 hours just because I didn't want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, it sucked in hindsight being there, but being in the office so much was definitely good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just trying to learn as much as I can. And then from there, I thankfully moved out of that place. I lived in Koreatown for a bit, and that was around the time that I left APG, and I started running Elevator's YouTube channel. And then after that, I ended up getting a job at Alamo, and then after that, I got the job at 10K, and that's how we got here.
Yeah.
It's just been crazy, honestly. It's been a weird shift the last like 5-7 years, but I couldn't imagine doing anything else in my life at this point.
Yeah. What makes you say that like you can handle the craziness of like the music industry over the sports journalism industry? Like what's the difference there?
I think in the sports journalism industry, a lot of shit was driven off of credentials in the sense of like school. Like I dropped out of school. I told her, I was like, I'm going to drop out of school and just dedicate all my time to this. Cause like, I'm going to get a degree in 4 years. I was at a community college. I was like, I had at least 4 years of college ahead of me. I was like, I already have this internship. This is an internship people try and get in their senior year of college or after college. I was like, I'm just going to devote all my time to this and try to get a job. Well, from there, it was really political because they put a lot of value in degrees, which was bullshit. I was putting up as much numbers as anyone else as far as reads. But past that, I was 18, 19. Like they were favoring these 40 and 50-year-olds over me. And like, I get that. It's like a boys club. Like they all went up and like they travel to each other and they go to games together. They go to bars together. And like, I'm not old enough to, you know, go to the bar. And so it's just like, it got really cliquey. And it was like, not to say the music industry isn't cliquey, but it was just like, at that age, it was unattainable for me I didn't have money to go travel and do all this shit and go to football games with them and, you know, do all this shit. And like, I don't know. And then in the music industry, it's also like, no one cares where you went to college, honestly, in the music industry. Like I work with people that went to prestigious universities, and I dropped out of community college after 3 semesters. So it's just like, you know, it's just, I can handle that. Like, it's whatever. Like, cause I just have to be good at listening to music. I had to have a better ear than you. And it's like, so I just do that. I'm just better at listening to music than people, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's different as hell. And there's honestly a lot more egos in the music industry. But if all I've had to do is deal with someone egotistical, you haven't met my sister. So it's like, I'm just kidding. I love you, Victoria. But yeah, no, I mean, it's just like, it's just two weirdly different worlds, but
Yeah.
the sense of competition in the music industry is different because when it comes to trying to sign an artist, I just be myself because it's like at the end of the day, there's not a lot of A&Rs that are passionate like I am.
Mm-hmm.
They care about the numbers and how many dollars they're making. And, you know, it's just like, for me, I'm okay with signing an artist really early because I believe in it that much. I've signed kids with 200 monthly listeners and now I have hundreds of thousands. I've signed kids with 50 monthly listeners and now I have hundreds of thousands. It's just like, you know, for me, artist development is important when you really believe in the talent. And I want to show that loyalty and belief early in someone. I'm not with all the politics when it comes to the music industry. I just like, I don't care about that. It's just like, if I like this artist, then, you know, I want to find a way to make it work. And it's like, I just have to be myself at that point. Cause it's like, there's a lot of slimy people in the music industry and I don't even have to talk about them in these meetings. I just be myself. And I feel like, you know, artists resonate with that because I'm not some, you know, old ass white dude that's just like, oh, well, your music's really reacting right now. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, do you like it? Do you like the music? Like, I won't sign anyone who I'm not a fan of.
Yeah.
And I also won't sign anyone who I don't think has a good heart. Those are my two biggest things. Because it's like, I don't care how much money it makes me. I can't feel good about hanging a plaque on my wall about getting a check about anything that is in relation to an artist that is a bad person that I don't think has a good heart.
Yeah.
I just can't get with that. Like, I can't be proud of that. And I take a tremendous amount of pride in my work.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to feed into something that's, I don't know if evil is the right word, but it's just like, I don't want to champion someone who I don't think is leaving a good impact. Honestly, at the end of the day, that's really big to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. And it's great that the label you work with is also supportive of the way that you A&R.
Yeah, totally. Elliot has been super cool, you know, since I've come on. He's really just kind of given me the keys to the car and just said, drive it. And it's been fun. You know, COVID has kind of held us back a little bit. I started like 3 or 4 months before the office shut down. So I've worked for the company longer from home than the office. But no, I mean, it's great. And, you know, it's great having someone that trusts me and empowers me. And, you know, I've worked for other people that they want to just like hold you down so they can hold themselves up and they take credit for your work. And it's like, here Elliot is, anytime he brings someone into the office, whether it's another executive or a journalist or anything it is, he's like, hey, this is Hef, this is our A&R. He's always like, he's very uplifting. And to work in an atmosphere that's really uplifting instead of like, those are the lower on the totem pole, just worry about me type shit. It's like, that's really nice. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's definitely, everyone gets their credit properly at the label, which is awesome. We're a smaller label, so it might be a little easier to do that, but I don't know. It's just great to work with great people. And like, it's a dream. I wouldn't want to work anywhere else at this point. Honestly. Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned that prior to working with 10K, you were in a season of life where you felt like you were really comfortable, but really uncomfortable.
Yeah. I almost quit the music industry at that point. I was, you know, I'm not going to mention names, but I was working at a company and I had some friends there, and my mentor at the time, you know, he was dealing with his own stuff and he definitely projected a lot of that out on the staff. And that was hard to work with because it's like, me, like I'm an emotional being. It's like I can't just sit there and get yelled at all the fucking time and like not be like, all right, well, shit, man. Like,
yeah.
So, you know, it was tough. And I was just like, geez, like I work with my friends. I work with someone that I wanted to work with for years. Cause I tried to work with my mentor at that time for years. And to finally be working for him and also be working with friends I've had for years, I was like, dude, like I'm so stressed out. I was like, if this is as good as it gets, I don't want to work. I don't want to work in the music industry. I don't want to do it. Y'all can have that. And it really just kind of took me taking the chance of, all right, like, let me see if I can get another job. Cause like, a lot of people try and play the game when they have a contract coming up of like, oh, I want to stay here, but I'm going to go interview with other people and get big offers so I could bolster more money from them. I don't do that shit. I don't do that shit. I'm not playing any games. I'm gonna tell you straight up what it is. And this is the first time I was like, you know what? Like, I gotta just do it. I gotta just like go outside of my comfort zone. I gotta just try and like make new contacts, network, you know, reach out to people. And I did. And I had a friend at the time who knew Elliot and the team really well. It was just like, hey, like, he's looking for A&Rs. Do you want to have a conversation? And I was just, yeah, like, of course, like, whatever. Because, like, at that point, like, I feel like now in the last couple of years, like, 10K is definitely kind of coming to the spotlight more, I guess, as far as the people. But, like, before then, it was very mysterious. It was, like, 3 people, and, like, all those motherfuckers were super, like, low-key and, like, all this shit. Like, Elliot, I remember when Elliot's Instagram was just pictures of penguins, and I thought it was the funniest shit ever. He fucking loves penguins, but I just thought it was the funniest shit ever. I was like, this is one of the most powerful parts of the music industry. Instagram isn't awards, it's not accolades, it's not gold and platinum records, it's fucking penguins.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy is awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and so, yeah, so, you know, I had a conversation with Elliot one day, and it went really well. And he was already familiar with my work, thankfully, just through my friend that connected us, and he hired me on the spot. And it was, you know, I cried leaving that. I called my mom. I was crying. I was like, Mom, I don't have to do it anymore. I don't have to deal with him no more. Like, I got this. Like, I got the job, blah, blah. My mom starts crying and all this shit. I was just so relieved, man. I was just so relieved because it felt like I was free. It felt like I had a chance to start fresh, but I was way more prepared this time.
Yeah.
And it was just an opportunity that I was like, I know a lot of people don't get this opportunity. I gotta make the most of it.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like every day I still work like I'm an intern. You know, it's like I do all the grind. I do more than A&R stuff. It's like I try and help out the project managers and the marketers and all that stuff. I try and be as hands-on as possible because I don't take my job for granted. I know sometimes, you know, the A&Rs, I mean, obviously they're really hands-on with the artists and stuff, but then after making the music, I don't want to just hand it off and be like, okay, you guys got it. It's like, no, it's like, I want to be involved in the marketing plans and this and that and the other. And like, I really want to help out and just kind of see it all the way through and really bring it to the end zone. And so, yeah, so, I mean, it's just having to go from one completely not fun situation to I literally love every single person I work with. I could call any of them right now and talk to them on the phone for an hour. Like, it's great. You know what I'm saying? It's great. I'm really thankful for that. And it's like, it's because of that why I'm just like, I can't ever let my current situation deter, I guess professionally at least, maybe in other situations to be different, but it's just like, I was really about to quit the music industry and just figure something else out and move back home to Maryland. And I'm so glad I didn't. I'm so glad I didn't. And it's just like, that perspective that I have now is really going to help me in the future just because I'm not scared to just take the leap. It's like, I'm not going to let like my current situation define like the whole grand scheme of things. It's like, I can always rise above that. I can always find something new. It's like, if something's not serving me anymore, I just cut it out. And it's just like, whether it's a person, a job, like anything like that, it's just like, I know that I'm going to be okay because of who I am and the work that I do, no matter what. And yeah, and I didn't feel that before. I thought I was gonna have to go back to the East Coast, my tail between my legs. Like, fuck, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I'm still here. You know, fingers crossed. Everything keeps going well. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad I didn't give up for sure. And I mean, there's a lot of praying going on during then. There's a lot of fateful times, a lot of fateful nights. And then the one day when I opened my dad's book and I see the road less traveled has more grip, I was like, all right, fuck it, we're off.
Yeah.
And that really was a turning point. And 2 months later, I had the job.
Wow.
So just like, you know, I don't know, I get really anxious. I get really like anxious and like super like I'll clam up and shit. And just like after that, I was like, fuck, like I need not do that, dude. Just go for it. Just do it. Like I feel like the Shia LaBeouf was just like, just do it. Like I was like, I don't know. I just had to go and get it after that. And like, I just been trying to do that since. And just like, ever since then, I really just want to keep like every time, like I talk to kids coming, I was like, just be yourself. Like you have no idea how much being a good person will take you far. You can be successful in this industry and be a terrible, slimy person who screws people over. But that shit catches up to you. That'll catch up to you sooner or later. It always catches up to you. You'll build a reputation and you can be successful, but people are always going to know you as that. I'd rather be less successful, but solid, because that's who I am. I don't need to screw people over to be successful. I've gotten this far, being a good person, putting in good work. If it's not broke, don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm just going to keep doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like you just preached this whole time.
Yeah, I don't know. I just letting it all out, I guess. Like, it's just like, it's been, like I said, a crazy year, crazy couple of years, man. But I'm definitely just blessed and happy to be here. Definitely just really thankful. Like, you know, gratitude is big for me because, I mean, I don't know. I mean, everyone's relationship with God is different, or, I mean, non-existent sometimes. But like, for me, I try and be the best example of God's existence to my friends, because it's just like, I was at a point where I wasn't praying. There was a point where I didn't believe in God, and there was all this stuff. But then when I kind of came back around and I started studying the Bible again and just doing my independent work on my relationship with God, and not necessarily trying to go through a religion to have that relationship, and just talking to him, that was how I really grew a lot. And that was how I really gained confidence and comfortability. And I was like, you know what? It's going to be okay. Because it's like, I saw this movie one time called God's Not Dead. And there's this line in there that will stick with me till the day I die. And it said that God gives us the answers that we would want if we knew what he knew. And it's just kind of it's been my pacifier, you know, in situations where I'm just like freaking out and I'm anxious and I'm this and I'm that. And I was like, you know what? This is supposed to happen for something else to happen, whether it's work, a relationship, an argument, anything going on, like drama with a friend, whatever it is. Just like, you know what? I just have to put my best foot forward. I just have to do my part and let God do his part. I only have control over so many things. Let me just make sure I'm doing everything that I have control over, what I feel is right or in the right way. And we'll just go from there. And so it's got me this far. I don't know. It's just like, again, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I pray every day. I'm always trying to improve and become a better person inside and out, and just trying to be a good example. And that's not necessarily in a religious way, but in a faithful way. It's like I have faith. I have a lot of faith. And so it's just like, it's just keeping me going.
Yeah. I have two things that I want to bring up on what you have just mentioned. One is like, it really does seem like it is when we're really, really going through it that we're about to experience like a really pivotal moment that is going to lead us somewhere a lot better.
Yeah. Fact.
And we have to like really trust what is going on, even when we have no idea where it's going to lead us or how it's going to end up or how it's going to happen. It's like, ooh, like these times might be really tough, but I know that it's all happening and leading me towards where I'm meant to be.
Absolutely.
And your experience that you shared with us on like that transition to where you are now is like a testimony of that.
Yeah, I definitely feel the same. And that's why I try and talk to as many people as I can that are maybe trying to come up in the music industry, or like that are just trying to come up in their respective fields. And I just try and be a good example to them of just like, bro, like just keep working, man. Keep your faith, keep your wits about you, and just be yourself. I mean, it's just like people just get so caught up in trying to fit a mold. Maybe it's because of social media. Maybe it's because of who they think they have to be to get to where they want to be. But I don't know. I just feel like what's meant for you will be for you. And like for me, I've just tried to go out and get what's meant for me. And then anything that's not, I gotta sometimes, just be like, fuck, like I really wanted that though. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's just, I don't know. You got to make space in your life for the stuff that you're meant to have, and not hold on to anything or anyone that's going to hold you back. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing that I wanted to touch on in regards to like spirituality is like something I've noticed with people who have disconnected themselves from religion and then kind of reconnected with God in their own way. I feel like your relationship with God really strengthens when you kind of experience that disconnect, but then you personally form that relationship in your own way, in a way that's like very personal to you, that doesn't necessarily feel confined by religion, or like, that's like very constricted, I guess, in some way, but is very personal to you.
Totally. I mean, I feel like religion should really just be your personal relationship with God, and however you have defined that, I guess. And I feel like some people get that messed up. Like, I've had friends that, sure, they pray and they do all this stuff, but then they'll be like, yeah, I mean, it's like I messed up and I did this bad thing, but I asked for forgiveness. And I was like, well, what the fuck? If you're doing something knowing it's wrong, consciously knowing it's wrong or whatever, and he's like, oh, it's fine, he's gonna forgive me anyway. It's just like, just are you fucking serious? Like, come on, dude. Like, that's not right. Like, that's not right. It's like you're gonna do something that's gonna piss your mom off. Yeah, your mom's gonna love you at the end of the day, but you're still gonna hurt your mom in the meantime. It's just like, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing?
Yeah. And I love that you have consistently expressed throughout this conversation that you genuinely just kind of want to be a reflection of God. Like, you want to just be a good person in general.
Absolutely.
And touching on that, whenever I talk to people in the music industry, something that literally every single person I've talked to says, who I really respect, is like how important it is to be yourself and to be a good person.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that a lot of those people who have said that are kind of in our generation, who are going to be and already are leaders in the music industry. And I feel like all of you are going to be really transforming the industry into like a more intentional, conscious environment.
Intentional is a great word. That's a great word, honestly. That's definitely, I don't know. You got to move with intention, man. It's just like, I mean, of course, there's sometimes you kind of got to go about stuff blindly and just kind of trusting that faith you're going to weather whatever storm comes. But I don't know. I think moving with purpose and intention is really important, because it's just like, whether it's your goals, whether it's just like, just keeping a good heart or whatever it is, man. I mean, it's just like, it's tough because there's going to be times that'll test you and push you to the edge, man. But, still being able to stand strong and standing tall in the face of temptation or whatever it is, just evil shit in general, like, that's big. And that's not easy. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy. Like, and everyone's going to trip and fall sometimes, but you got to just keep getting back up, man. You got to keep getting back up and try to become more and more conscious.
Yeah. You spend a lot of time exploring other artists. Like, that's a huge part of your job.
Yeah.
How has your position in the music industry assisted you in exploring yourself?
Oh, it's a hard hitter. Damn. Geez, I feel like life's a bunch of circles. Life's a bunch of circles, and sometimes you're on one side of the circle, sometimes you're on the other side of the circle. And when you're on the other side of the circle, you're going to see yourself in other people and in other situations. And I've experienced that a lot. I have been from manager to blogger to intern to A&R to director of A&R. I keep running into me and other people. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's like a fucking brain blast. I was like, oh shit. Like, it's like deja vu almost. It's like, what the fuck? Like, and so I try and be the voice that I didn't have in that situation. I try and be the person I didn't have in that situation. Like, I didn't have anyone when I was fucking homeless telling me that, it's going to be okay. Like, keep your wits about you, be a good person, like, work hard. You're going to get there. Like, I didn't have that. And it's like, I had to, that was also when I got a lot closer with God, because I had myself and prayer. That was really all I had. And I try and be that voice for other people. And I try and be a tool of God. Honestly, I try and allow God to just kind of like flow through me into other people. And I've had friends that have told me, it's like, after a conversation, I prayed, I started praying again. And it's like, that makes me so happy because, maybe not they'll get closer with God, but they're trying. And that's really the best I could ever ask of someone. It's just like, for me, I have found out a lot about myself by just like running into basically my past self and other people. And it's like, I try and just help them in a way that I felt like I needed help at that time. And at the very least, I try and be a promising voice for them and just a resounding encouragement that like, no, just keep going, dude, just keep going. And yeah, so I mean, I've been running into that a lot. And past that, you know, I've been facing some situations where, you know, I had to make some tough decisions. And at that point, you know, for me, I avoid conflict. I don't like conflict. I don't do that shit. I'm not into that. I don't like to argue. I don't like to yell. I don't like to do that shit, you know, but you know, sometimes you got to, and sometimes you have to, you know, have tough conversations. And it's like, you know, I've been able to fortunately find a way to have those tough conversations that work for me, that don't make me too uncomfortable. But I mean, at the same time, it's like, I try not to sugarcoat anything to anyone because, you know, life is not sugarcoated and it's going to be shitty sometimes, but it's not going to be shitty all the time. And the only way it's not going to be shitty all the time is if you keep working and you keep being a good person, you keep doing the stuff that you need to do to get from A to B to C to D to Z. And yeah, I mean, it's just a whole bunch of circles, man. Just a whole bunch of circles. I've seen it in interns. I've seen it in bloggers. I've seen it in, you know, coworkers. I've seen it. It's just like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Just nuts.
Yeah. Before we transition out of, you know, touching on the music industry, I think the last thing I want to ask you is what your favorite or one of your favorite self-realizations has come from being in this career.
Oh man. Like what one of my favorite self-realizations is? Just that, wow. I guess just like in general, just that like I am enough. Like I am good enough. Like I don't, like my old mentor, he was a bully. I mean, he broke everyone down. He was like, you don't have any fucking taste in music. He would say this to me. He was literally like, you don't have any fucking taste in music, blah, blah, blah. Like, just shut up, just listen to me, just follow my lead, this, that, and the other. And like, of course, like he would listen to me when I bring up new artists and stuff. But then he would be like, he would tell me like, hey, you just found this good artist up, but you don't have any fucking taste. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I had to kind of rise above that and just realize like this person has no idea what the fuck they're talking about. I was like, I just had to kind of realize like, no, what? Like there's stuff that I know and stuff that I believe. And that was one of those things that I know. I know I'm good at this job. I know I'm going to do good things. I know I'm going to do big things. I know I'm going to be doing cool shit with good people. I just got to keep going. I can't be in this situation that's clearly I'm just a blooming flower in a dead garden. And it's just like, cool, I'm still in a dead garden, you know? So it's like I had to just kind of replant myself somewhere else. And the only reason I did it is because I had gained that confidence and that, you know, like I am enough. I am good at this shit. I am, like I said, enough. I'm good enough. I'm here. Like I'm here for a reason. Like I said, talking about purpose and fulfilling, like I obviously made it this far for some reason. And that's because I'm good at it. I got to keep going. I owe it to myself. I owe it to the people that believe me, the people that supported me along the way, you know, and you know, I get an opportunity that a lot of people don't have. And it's just that opportunity can't be wasted. I don't want to waste it. So I have to just go after it. I'm here for a reason.
Yeah. And I feel like it's in those situations or environments or relationships where you have that awakening of like, wait, I cannot take personally what this person is telling me because they are just projecting something within themselves. Like you have to, in those situations, make that distinction to not internalize what the other person is projecting, because then you're going to get lost. You're going to like forget who you truly are. And I love that you came to the realization, like, I am enough, like who you are. And that's exactly what happened to you in this case.
That was exactly that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. It seems like so long ago, but Happy is behind me for sure. Happy is behind me.
Yeah.
But I needed that. You know what I'm saying? It's like I needed that. It's like that's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it sucked, for the time being. I'm not gonna lie, I was unhappy the whole time. I definitely had happy points over there, but overall, it was definitely a tough situation. But it's like if I didn't go through that, I don't have the job I have now. Honestly, if I don't go through that, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
happens for a reason. You gotta take the
For
good with the
sure.
bad, man. So
It all contributes to your character and to the skills you'll need to continue on in the ascension of your journey.
that's exactly how I feel about it. Yeah, it's like I'm gonna run into more people like that. I know I'm going to. I just have to learn how to handle them. And I feel like I definitely have a better grasp on how to handle them now, just because I've gone through that. But I've also like succeeded through that. I've risen above that. I've learned from that. I'm here, so I try and just be here and be present and just
Yeah. Yeah. How would you, to kind of like bring this all full circle, and get close to closing this off, how would you describe this current season of your life?
Wow. Geez. In a word, I guess 2 words: excitingly frustrating. Frustrating in a few ways. It's definitely harder being outside of the office and working. I think we've done a good job about it overall. But sometimes I play in a big game of telephone and I hate that shit. I want to just be able to knock on someone's fucking office door and be like, hey, yeah, this, cool, need it done. But past that, frustrating, I haven't seen my niece and nephew in 2 years. And like, that's tough. Like I have them tattooed on me right here. It's just like, I love those kids so much. And it's like, I saw my parents one time in May. They came to visit after they got vaccinated. And that was great. And I was supposed to be home right now, actually. But I had to cancel my flight because COVID's getting really bad out here again. And it's like, even though we're all vaccinated except for the kids, it's just like, I could go and have the trip and no one would get sick. But me going through 4 airports and, doing all this stuff and being around all those people, is like, I could spread it without realizing it. And I even just unknowingly doing that is too much of a risk for me. I'm just trying to do my part, and that's really frustrating, but that's the right thing to do right now. And so it's just, I don't know, it's tough, man. It's tough, but it's exciting. Like work is great. Sure, it's stressful sometimes, but it's great. I'm saying? It's like I work with some amazing artists. I work with some amazing executives and people and publicists and whatever it is. And it's just like, I don't know, the puzzle that it all fits together to be is definitely a beautiful one. And I'm really thankful to be a part of it. But I also don't expect everything to be all fucking rainbows and butterflies. Sometimes it's going to be tough. There's going to be, rough points. Artists are people. I always say that we're dealing with people, not products, because I feel like a lot of label executives treat artists like a product. As soon as they go home and they clock out, they're done. They don't care and stuff. My job is really 24/7, 365. I may work Monday through Friday, but I'm also working Saturday and Sunday and Christmas and Thanksgiving and all that, because it's like an artist is a person. It's like they have a real life to deal with. And if they need me, I signed up to always be needed. I signed up for that. And so it's like, I can't be like, I'm good, like whatever. Like the only time I won't take a call from an artist is when, like late at night when I'm drunk with my friends. I was like, hey, I'm just drunk right now. Let me just talk to you later. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, cool, don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. That's the only time. Any other time I'll take the call. And I'd be going to sleep kind of early, like 10 o'clock. So like 11 o'clock, maybe I won't take the call either. But like past that, like I'm always there. I'm on call for my artists and for anyone I work with, because it's like, it's important to do that. That's what I signed up for, so.
How do you, I have to ask this with you saying that, but how do you take care of yourself and make sure you're not depleted in always being available for others?
I smoke a lot of weed and I drink a lot of water. I drink probably like 1 gallon to 2 gallons of water a day. And I have a volcano. I don't no tobacco, no joints or anything like that, no carcinogens. I got the volcano. And so I just do that. That keeps me safe. And talking to my parents. I call my parents twice a day. I call my parents when I first wake up, and I call them around the time they're going to go to bed. Just those are 3 things that definitely keep me sane: weed, water, and my parents. That's it.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. That's all I need, man. All I need, for real.
I feel like we touched on so much, and I'm really grateful for that. And I think this is a really beautiful conversation, but I know that some people listening to this are going to be people who either want to be discovered or are desiring to be in your position. And I know that we know that being yourself and being passionate and being a good person really does get you to where you want to be.
Yeah.
But I know the frustration of those people who want to be in those positions might be listening to this and be like, okay, but other than being a good person, other than being passionate, like, what do I need to do? Like, what advice, like beyond that, what would you say to them?
I guess there's two different perspectives that I need to answer. And one is to the artist. And the artist, I saw this kid the other day on Twitter, and it's ironic that I saw this, but this kid who I didn't know, I just saw some random producer I follow reply to it, and that's why the whole thread popped up. And this kid's talking about how I spent money on Instagram ads and Facebook ads, and I've tried TikTok, and I've done all this stuff, and nothing's working. I'm about to just give up. And that's the unfortunate reality, man, is that this music shit, it really is not for everyone. Not everyone is meant to be an artist for one reason or another. Maybe the music's not there. Maybe they don't have the image or the charisma or personality or whatever it is. A lot of times it's accessibility to resources, whether that's money or promotion, marketing, whatever it is. And that's okay. I mean, that's okay. Like Tunji just became the CEO of Def Jam. He was a rapper once upon a time. So it's like, there's way more ways. I was a rapper once upon a time. Like, there was a weird summer. Me and my friend smoked a bunch of spice. It was bad. But yeah, no. But it's like, that's the thing. You don't have to make music to be in the music industry. If your passion is music, you can do that as a hobby. And you can still work in the music industry as an artist. You can own a studio. You can make beats. Like, that's a great way to do it. Like, a lot of artists start off being a songwriter for someone else or making beats for someone else. Sometimes your path isn't going to be an artist, and that's okay. You can still work in the music industry and work with stuff that you're passionate about and people that you're passionate about, and you can still be close to it. Not everyone's going to be Kobe. Some people have to be the coach. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I encourage everyone just to find their position, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
On the other perspective of someone that's trying to work in the music industry, be talkative. I know that's tough, because like on Twitter and stuff, you're going to be feeling like you're inserting yourself into conversations that, maybe don't need to be inserted in. But I mean, for me, it was a little different because I was approached, but I know that I was approached because I put myself out there. I was very vocal. I took a lot of pride in my work. I plastered that shit everywhere. And I knew that I had a good ear. So I'm just going to show everyone that I have a good ear. I was always tweeting about music, doing this, that, and the other. And it helps if you want to be an A&R, it helps being early on stuff. You want to do publicity, build up your contact list of different blogs and stuff like that, different promotional outlets. It's just like, it kind of depends what they want to do, whether it's marketing or PR or being an A&R or like whatever it is. I think a great way to get into it is finding an internship. That's how I started, and a lot of other people started that way. And a lot of times you're not going to get a job where you're interning at. A lot of these places don't hire interns thinking that they're going to become employees one day. They just don't. But you can do that. You can take that internship and you can use that experience. And because you're an intern there, that allows you into more conversations and more situations where you can meet other people from other labels and other executives. And another thing is, realize who's around you. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was a blogger, there was a bunch of bloggers and I knew some that were going to fall off, but I also knew some were going to go off and be executives one day. And I was like, you know what? I like this person. I want to build a relationship with this person because like I fuck with them. I fuck with what they're about. And we're going to be running shit one day. And it's funny because that is me and a few of my friends now. Like that, some of those bloggers that I worked with are executives at Warner, at Sony, at all these other places. And like one of my friends manages one of the biggest producers in the industry right now. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, he was an intern with me. It's like, what the fuck? And it's just like, you got to just, link up with the right people and definitely build those relationships with people that you feel like are good people that are going to do good work, and try and collaborate with them and just make an impact in a small way that will be bigger and bigger and bigger the more you move and the more you move up and stuff. And like, I don't know, some people do it in a bunch of different ways. Some people, work with different platforms from, say Cheese to Our Generation Music. But then there's other people that throw shows and they get consulting gigs. And it's like, I don't know. It's just like there's a million different ways to get into it. You just have to kind of find your way and creep your way in. But I mean, networking in general, I know it's kind of like cliche, like your network is your net worth, but that's really what it is. It's just like if people don't know you, you could be as qualified as possible. They don't know you. So it's just like trying to figure out how to not be invasive, but still make your presence known. There's no real math equation for that. It's just kind of be a good person and do good work and hope it comes your way. You know, there's this kid from Australia actually right now. His name's Jacob. And I saw this motherfucker under like everyone's post, and not in like an annoying way. It was genuine, but I was like, who is this kid that knows literally fucking everyone?
Yeah.
Here's this kid who just wants to work in the music industry from Australia. So he's like, okay, everyone that I like what they do, that I'm a fan of what they do, the artists I support what they do, I'm just going to try and build a relationship and get in touch with them. And it's like, ultimately I fucking followed him back and I was just like, what's up, bro? Like you, like, honestly, it happened because sometimes they'll do like Instagram lives where I'll like go over people's music just to kind of give them a chance to send music directly to me. And he sent me like 5 fire ass songs in a row. I was like, bro, what? Like, but that, you know, it's like his opportunity to get in touch with me was through me doing an Instagram live. Sometimes some people are going to be looking for an intern. Some people are going to be looking for that. It's just like, I don't know, just try and network as best you can. It's not easy, but you know, you can get there for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a lot of really helpful advice. So thank you for taking the time to share all of that. And again, thank you for this conversation. This was really, really expansive when we got to touch on a lot, and you genuinely are a really beautiful person. Like I can tell that you really care about your family. You care about just helping others and bettering yourself and all of that. So I know there's more success for you. And I know that people are going to be inspired by this, whoever listens and watches.
Well, thank you so much, Jocelyn. That really means the world. And thank you again for having me as a guest. I mean, I think what you're doing is awesome. I mean, having a platform that's based off of gratitude and just, you know, self-belief and all that. I love it. Honestly, there's not many people doing what you're doing, if any. So keep doing it. Honestly, I love it.
Thank you so much.